Hello, this is John Rankin with the TEI International, teii.org. This video is entitled Why I Wrote a Book on Muhammad, and it is followed by subsequent videos that cover 41 vignettes from the life of Muhammad. I wrote this on September 23, 2013, as I published this book, which I will mention in a minute, and I'm recording this video on December 28, 2018. My priorities in study and ministry is that of biblical ethics, or namely, how we treat one another. And it is the interpretive lens through which I look at all matters, always testing my own assumptions and the assumptions of others. The goal of the gospel as it interfaces with ethics and public policy is to serve religious, political, and economic liberty for all people equally. And such freedom is only possible for all people if first rooted in a true definition of terms. In the Garden of Eden, Yahweh Elohim gives us a choice between the fruit that is good and serves freedom and life, and the fruit that is evil and leads to slavery and death. In my studies about Islam across the years, I have read various biographies of Muhammad, and the most ancient, authoritative, and extant biography is that of Ibn Ishaq, written in the 2nd century AH, 8th century AD, about 100 years after Muhammad's death. Ibn Ishaq is an honest historian, but also working with various sources, some trustworthy and some he questions. But in recording the primary sources that come from a known chain of custody back to Muhammad and his companions, Ibn Ishaq gives us the profile of Muhammad that Muslims have patterned themselves after for some 1400 years, thus the matter of ethics. My purpose in this new book, as of 2013, The Real Muhammad in the Eyes of Ibn Ishaq, is to let this candid profile of Muhammad become accessible and thus serve people's freedom of informed choice. It is a profile of violent and imposed religion according to Ibn Ishaq, but too, this he believes in the 8th century is how it should be. But does such a religion satisfy the human soul, Muslim or otherwise? Here's the content of the back cover. Can Muhammad satisfy the Muslim thirst for freedom? I believe all people are hardwired by the one true Creator for full religious, political, and economic liberty. Muhammad is the prophet of Islam, and his way of life, or sunnah, determines every detail of a Muslim's life. He is the measure of the Islamic understanding of the social order and politics. But how well do Muslims, or any of us, know the real Muhammad? In these pages, we will look at 1. A summary of Ibn Ishaq's biography, or sirah, of Muhammad's life, person, and character. Ibn Ishaq's sirah is the most ancient, extant, and authoritative source we have for Muhammad's life. 2. How Ibn Ishaq's narrative represents Muhammad as fulfilling and transcending the Hebrew Bible and Christian New Testament. 3. A presentation of appropriate biblical texts in the footnotes. And 4. In the epilogue, a brief biblical perspective on how to serve religious, political, and economic liberty for all people equally, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, or otherwise. The crux of the issue is this: Islam is historically a one-way religion. It is rooted in Muhammad's person as a prophet of Allah, bringing forth the Quran. Whether a person is born into, chooses to enter, or is driven into Islam, he or she is prohibited from leaving it. Muhammad builds and enforces this assumption over the course of his life. His right-hand man and the first caliph after Muhammad's death, Abu Bakr, puts it this way, quote, Allah sent Muhammad with his religion, and he strove for it, which is from the Arabic word jihad. And he strove for it until men accepted it voluntarily or by force, close quote. Is this what any or all Muslims embrace today? Is this what any person in any religion wants to embrace? And thus, in my subsequent videos, we will cover 41 vignettes from Muhammad's life. And if you're interested in the book, you can go to johnrankinbooks.com. Again, that is johnrankinbooks.com. Thank you so much, and God bless.